Today we're going to make a brown sugar buttermilk cake. I've also seen it as a farmhouse buttermilk cake. My husband was at a board meeting from work and a co-worker, Amanda, made him this cake and he said that I had to make it. So I played with the recipe a few times. The first time I made it, I found it was way too thick. It took way too long to cook in a smaller pan. So I've just pared it down so I can put it into a springform pan so it becomes a bit of a thinner cake and you'll still get your nice caramel topping with the nuts on top. So we're just going to put this together. It's very quick and easy. I have a 1/4 cup of butter, which I've softened. And I also have a cup of brown sugar. And an egg and some vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. And a cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use milk and you can sour it with some lemon juice in there. So I would say a cup, maybe about a tablespoon of lemon juice or a couple teaspoons. But buttermilk really is much richer than milk, so it does make a nice rich cake. So buttermilk if you have it, otherwise just use your milk and sour it up, either with lemon juice or vinegar. All right, I'm just gonna get these ones started mixing. Going to scrape the bottom, make sure it's not all sticking with the butter on the bottom. And we'll also add in our, let's see, I got 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. We'll throw that in there as well. You just want to mix this a minute so you don't have all big lumps in it. It's a very quick, easy cake to mix up. If you want, you can melt your butter completely. I still have some little bits of butter in here, but that's okay. It will all melt up in the oven. And we also have 1½ cups of flour to put in there. You might need to scrape the sides. Just want to make sure we're getting it all the way. Pretty good. All right, we're going to get this into our greased springform pan. I like to use a springform pan because it's easy to open it up and cut your cake afterwards. Also, if you do choose to serve it hot, and you pull it out of the oven and you open it up, then the caramel that's going to be on the top will kind of ooze around your cake, or you can let it set up on the top of the cake, just leave it in your pan. So we're going to get the cake baking. And when it's baked for about 25 minutes, then we're going to add a topping of brown sugar, butter, and some nuts on top, which caramelize in the oven for another 10 minutes. So we're just going to get this into the oven. Make sure it's on a cookie sheet though, because once we put that caramel, the glaze stuff on top, it will ooze through and you'll make a mess in the oven. So make sure you have it on a cookie sheet. All right, so while the cake is in the oven, we're going to get the topping ready. So I have 1/3 a cup of butter that I've melted in the microwave, a 1/4 cup of some milk, and I have a cup of brown sugar, and I have some walnuts. Originally the recipe calls for pecans, but I was in the store, it was just a little bag and it was $18. I couldn't make myself do it. So I have walnuts in the house, that's what we're using. So I've just chopped them up so they're a little bit finer because they were actually the full halves of the walnuts. So I just broke them up a get that mixed into here. And this is going to be the topping. So as soon as our oven beeps, we're going to get this in. So this can sit on the counter for a little bit while you're waiting. I have another 15 minutes in the oven there yet. So it'll be a little bit thick, but it will spread on quite nice. So I'll pull the cake out at around the 25-minute mark, and I'll show you what it looks like to throw this on, and we're going to put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. All right, so I've taken this out at the 25-minute mark. It's just to the point where it's done. You don't want to get it too baked up because you want to have it in for another 10 minutes. So we're going to just pour our nuts and brown sugar on top. We're going to get this back in the oven so this can all caramelize. And this is why you want it on the cookie sheet, because this will ooze down through the cracks there. And back in the oven for 10 minutes. All right, so I've pulled this out of the oven. It's all bubbly on there. So I'm going to let this cool in my pan. However, if you want to serve it hot, you can, so that when you open it up, the liquid it's not set yet, it will ooze off. But I like to have it set so that way I can easily freeze pieces of it as well, so we don't have to have it all out right away. So give this one a try. Brown sugar buttermilk cake, or it's an old-fashioned farmhouse buttermilk cake. It's very nice, rich cake, very moist, delicious with that caramelized stuff on the top. So give this one a try.